gone too long. I welcome you all this morning to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Charlotte County, otherwise known as UUFCC. It is my pleasure to be with you this morning as worship associate. My name is Kay Azar, and I will be guide this morning. We're glad you have chosen to be with us, whether you are here in the sanctuary or on YouTube. I'd like you to all put your phones on silent mode. We are here this morning with thanks for Jim and the choir, who have a special piece for us today, and Tom working the tech and sound system. Corey has strep, so he's not here today. I could not get by myself without Mary Jane and Sandy in the office. There are also, I want to thank Laura L. for the work on the porch, and if you haven't seen it yet, it looks fabulous. There are obviously many more people who make the work of this fellowship possible. My thanks and gratitude to all. If you're new to us this morning at UUFCC, please stand if you are willing and able and tell us your name and where you're from.
I'm Joyce Miller, and I'm from San Jose, California, and I'm UU.
Welcome, Joyce.
And I'm Judy Ishii from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm a UU1.
Welcome, Judy.
My name is Cliff.
And I'm Linda,
We're from Northern Kentucky.
and we go to St. John's UU in Cincinnati.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. To learn more, and stick around after the service for coffee and light refreshments, lots of conversation. To learn more about the fellowship, you can email Mary Jane at office@uufdc.org. It's pretty easy. Or you can visit our website, uufcc.org, or call. We are glad that you have made it to our space today. This morning, we also welcome Barbara Westart from Virginia B. Andes. She is the Director of Donor Development, and she has brought a volunteer, Mary Jo, with her. A quick reminder to those at home to have your chalice ready for the chalice lighting. Our words of welcome this morning come from Katie Kandarian Morris, who serves as minister at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Durango, California. Here we have come into this sacred space, quieter now with our readiness, hushed voices, hoping, trusting for so many things, for connection, for communion, for inspiration, for information, for healing, for wholeness, for words, for music, for celebration and consolation. Here we have come into this space, bringing all of who we are. Let us be willing. However, we are changed. And Shelley's going to help me with the chalice lighting. The words are from Barbara Falk. A chalice lit in our midst is a symbol of our liberal faith, a faith built on the foundation of freedom, reason, and tolerance, a faith sustained by acts of kindness and justice, a faith that visions a world flourishing with equality for all her people, a faith that demands the living out of goodness, a faith that requires thoughtfulness, a faith of wholeness. This tiny flame is the symbol of the spark that lies within each of us. Please join me for the affirmation. It's in your order of service, I believe. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our aspiration, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. Please go ahead and light your chalices at home if you're so inclined. This morning, the prelude will be with Jim Boyle and the choir. This is another. He's got a twin. Singing the anthem, the song, and the silence in the song. Opening words this morning. A structured multidisciplinary group of experts, a Delphi panel at Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health and Brigham Women's Hospital, reviewed the strongest collective evidence and offered consensus, implications for health, healthcare, and spirituality. They define spirituality as the way individuals seek ultimate meaning, purpose, connection, value, or transcendence. This could include organized religion, but extends well beyond to include ways of finding ultimate meaning by connecting, for example, to family, community, or nature. Spirituality is important to as many patients as they think about their health. Focusing on spirituality in healthcare means caring for the whole person, not just their disease. They noted that for healthy people, spiritual community participation is exemplified by religious service attendance. It's associated with healthier lives, including greater longevity, less depression and suicide, and less substance abuse. For many patients, spirituality is important and influences key outcomes. Outcomes in illness such as quality of life and medical care decisions. Consensus implications included an increasing awareness among clinicians and health professionals about the protective benefits of spiritual community participation. According to researchers, the simple act of asking about a patient's spirituality can and should be part of patient-centered, value-sensitive care. The information gleaned from conversations can guide further medical decision-making, including but not limited to notifying a spiritual care specialist such as a chaplain. Overlooking spirituality leaves patients feeling disconnected from the healthcare system and the clinicians trying to care for them. Integrating spirituality into care can help each person have a better chance of reaching complete well-being and their highest attainment of health. Please rise and body your spirit for hymn 149, Lift Every Voice.
Ring with the harmony
As we do every week, we pause this morning from the chaos of the world to remember our joys and sorrows, milestones and special occasions by entering them into the Red Book of Life. Come on, health today. Messages should be sent no later than the Saturday prior to the service. During the Sunday morning service following the receipt of your message, I will read those words to the congregation. John, are you going to bring them up for me, please? We are grateful for our choir director, Jim Boyle, and our own 20-member choir. This is a big deal. 20 members singing today. Stephanie says, got a text from former member Adair Jenkins. She just turned 96, is living in Ontario and doing well. Ooh, that's awesome. John Lee says, my sister Carolyn fell again last week. She has stitches and internal bleeding on the brain. Positive thoughts are needed. She's back at High Park Memory Care in Tampa. And Catherine Stanwood says, those who are wearing masks, thank you. With the number of folks in attendance and the cases of COVID growing, I am anxious to attend services while many go unmasked and physical separation is limited. Our hearts, I think, for all of us go out to those suffering in Turkey and Syria after the earthquake. Now let us enter a time of silent prayer or meditation. We will be called back from our silence with the ringing of the bowl. Our message this morning is by Barb Westart, the Director of Donor Development at Virginia B. Andes Volunteer Community Clinic. Barb started with the clinic 2 days before Ian came to visit in September. She had recently relocated to the U.S. after living on the island of Roatan, Honduras for the past 16 years. There she had built and operated an eco-lodge, and I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce it, Upachaya, thank you. And built and operated the Jolly Octopus, a beach bar and restaurant. Before her move to the island, her career was in corporate America. While living on the island, she was also involved with the Clinica Esperanza as well as Partners in Education Roatan. Both organizations were focused on providing medical and educational services to the local population. She was also active in providing educational services focused on the environment to children in the villages, as well as offering fun programs. There were activities such as beachside obstacle courses and other games, and an annual Christmas cookie decorating event for the children of the neighborhood. She joined VBA because she believes in their mission and finds it fulfills a passion of hers, which is to really get to know and understand her community, along with providing an opportunity to give back to others.
I'm gonna come down and get personal here. And I believe Tom is back there and he's gonna help me with the slides. So first of all, I wanna thank you for giving me this opportunity to come and to speak to all of you. I've gotta tell you, the energy in this room is just amazing. I'm sitting here tingling with goosebumps. It's really powerful. So thank you for that. As Kay had mentioned, I just started with Virginia B. Andes Volunteer Community Clinic in September. And I've got to tell you, I am just absolutely thrilled to be a part of this organization. As she said, I love the mission that they have. It's focused on providing free medical, pharmaceutical, and wellness services for any resident of Charlotte County that is uninsured. And let me just clarify that for a moment, because oftentimes people think, or I've heard, why don't they get a job? Why are we having to support them, volunteering, donating our money? Why can't they just get up and help themselves? Well, as we all know, oftentimes financial circumstances just don't allow us to do that. But also, we serve a lot of the working poor here in the county. There are many people that have jobs, but because of the job that they have, either that corporation keeps their hours low so they don't qualify for insurance, or there are other factors involved, but they just don't have the means to be able to pay for insurance. The other thing is, with the rising cost of living, especially since Ian, look at Maslow's theory. The first thing you have to look at is shelter, right? And if your shelter costs keep going up, and then your food costs, there's not much left over for insurance. So again, that's where Virginia B. Andes comes into play. So if we could go to the first slide there, Tom. Oh, and go to the next one. This is our vision, and again, it's just to ensure that everybody in this county has access to quality health care. And I just want to touch on something that was said in the words that Kay shared with us. When we talk about the community and the spirituality of all that's going on here, we have many of our patients that come in here, and I've had the opportunity to interview a few of them, and one of the things that really touches my heart is they say that they love coming to Virginia B. Andes because they feel like it's part of the family. the people there, the staff remember their names and they remember bits and pieces about them other than just the medical aspect. And they really feel like there's a warmth and connection there with Virginia B. Next slide, please. Oh, Tom?
There we go.
There we are. Okay, again, it's more than a mission. We want to provide a set of simple human values and again, providing quality health care to everyone. If we go to the next slide, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history. Virginia B. Andes started in 1999. It was started by St. Vincent de Paul, and it was started as a pharmacy by Dr. Thomas Ferrara. Then the doors opened 2007. Dr. Mark Asparilla and Dr. David Klein realized and recognized that there was a real need for a medical clinic as well as the pharmacy. So along with, and they were the co-medical directors of the St. Vincent de Paul at that time. If we go to the next slide, both doctors were along with the volunteers in Medical Alliance, and I'm going to stand over here. I think I'll be able to see better. Along with the board of directors for the St. Vincent de Paul and significant community input, they were able to open up the doors of Virginia B. Andes in 2009. And it was renamed Virginia B. Andes because Virginia, I don't know if many of you know her, but she was an amazing woman. Back in World War II, she had started with the IBM, and she was the first female engineer at IBM, so she had quite a legacy. When she passed, she had donated quite a sum of money to Virginia B. Andes, and that's why we are named after her. Next slide, please. So this is how we leverage. Our operating budget, I'm sorry that says 23, but it's actually 22, was just over $1 million. And we get a lot of the services that we provide are in kind, volunteer doctors, volunteer radiologists, and so forth. The average clinic cost of a visit per patient is $230. That's excluding specialty services. And when I say specialty services, I mean the radiologists and having the mammograms and doing the Cologuards and going to the special internists or gastroenterologists or other specialty services like that. An average emergency room visit, $2,500. So we can save a lot of money when they come to the clinic. If you'll go to the next slide, please. And let's move on. I've got more information. Just go to the next slide. I want to talk first about the pharmacy. So our impact in 2022, we had 7,007 pharmacy visits. We filled 18,888 prescriptions. And the value of that was $5 million. The patient assistant program is where we work with various pharmaceutical manufacturers, and they provide the specific drugs that we need. So we had 165 individual patient requests, 514 prescriptions dispensed, and that in itself, the cost value was over $2 million. Next slide, please. This is a comparison of the Virginia B. Andes pharmacy to an independent retail pharmacy. So the annual volume of an independent, did I just lose? There's a little red light on. Okay.
Battery.
I'll talk loud. Oh, here comes on to rescue. In the meantime, the independent retail pharmacy, the annual volume that they provide is over $3 million, almost 3.5. Our pharmacy includes in-kind services, the annual volume of 5,000. The operating cost of a regular pharmacy is about $900,000 a year. DVA operates at about $232,000 a year. Prescription is at an independent pharmacy. Thank you. At an independent pharmacy is 57, just over 57,000. And again, we provided 18,888 prescriptions. You can see Merck, Pfizer, Hope. Those are some of the organizations that we work with to provide in-kind services to our patients. Next slide. We also provide a number of immunizations. We've got a hepatitis C program, which has a very high cure rate. Respiratory, we provide inhalers for those people that have asthma and such. We work with the Homeless Coalition. We collaborate with them. We have health and wellness services, smoking cessation. We have a program for weight loss. And then we also did some special things. We had a medical Ukraine mission, hurricane prep packs. I had the fun with the pharmacy director. She and I filled our backpacks full of little hygienic packets, toothpaste and combs and soaps and such. And we went and knocked on the doors and said trick or treat, but in reverse, and we were giving them to the parents. So that was kind of fun. Again, we got the PAP program and then also Mission Cataracts. Next slide, please. And we can skip this one too. Next one, please. The pharmacy has a very solid vaccination program. And stepping back, in 2021, we had 734 first and second booster COVID-19 shots. Last year, in 2022, we actually increased that to 850, and we did that in just 9 months. We also do the flu, the Shingrix, and hepatitis shots. Next slide. So what are our challenges in the pharmacy? Preventive maintenance, drug costs continue to rise, in-kind availability, and shelf life. And always looking for volunteers. If anybody knows of a pharmacy technician, we are in great need of a pharmacy technician right now, but we're always looking for volunteers in all sorts of capacities. After today, if anybody is interested or know of somebody, please let me know. I'll be sure to pass on the correct information for you to get in touch with our Director of Operations and Volunteers. Next slide. So as a clinic, we have an average of 300 patients we see monthly. And in clinic, again, this is excluding our specialty services, about 3,600 patients annually. We focus on primary care, semi-urgent, surgical specialty, and pharmacy. Next slide. Oh, goodness, that one's really small. Okay, basically, it just we wanted to point out that we have a number of doctors and APRNs and other medical staff that provide in-kind services, that are volunteers. They're providing their time for us. One of the things that I want to point out here is that we have 170 of our volunteer base. We have 200 providers, 170, more than 10,492 volunteer hours last year. Okay, next slide. We partner with a lot of different organizations to provide these in-kind services to the residents of Charlotte County. And this is just a list of a few of them. Project Detect, if anybody knows that, they help us with detecting breast cancer. Then they expanded it. We now do Cologuards, so we can detect the colon cancers. And just last week, they approved providing the anesthesia that is required for Cologuards as well. Next slide. So where do we get our funding? Civic organizations, Elks, Kiwanis, Rotary, Punta Gorda Women's Club, all sorts of different civic organizations step up and help us. Faith-based organizations such as yourselves, individual donors, we have endowments and legacy gifts as well, and fundraising events. We just recently had a Friday the 13th bingo event in January, and we intend to make that an annual event. We have Country for a Cause, which is our signature event. Please mark your calendars and come enjoy that. That's going to be at the Event Center in Punta Gorda, and our entertainment will be the Boogeymen. We also have a Caribbean vacation raffle going on right now, which is a 1-week stay on the island of Roatan at Upachaya. I did sell the resort, but the people that have taken it over are doing an amazing job. So that whole package is put together and it's being raffled. Just 300 tickets. We're only selling 300 tickets. And then corporate sponsorships and donations for events. That's a biggie, obviously. We're always reaching out into the community to help us help your fellow man. Next slide, please. I want you to meet Anne. She's a survivor. She is 51 years old. She was diagnosed with hypertension. When she was first born, she had issues and they had to remove her kidney, so she had a nephrectomy. At the age of 48, she also had a brain tumor, and it was benign. They were able to remove that. Just recently, she had some issues with her urinary tract, and because of not having one of her kidneys, we decided to do some additional tests on her. We found out that she had cysts and then a mass in her uterus. We were able to refer her to Moffitt Cancer Center, and they did a complete hysterectomy and also chemo treatments, and she's doing very well right now. She says that if it wasn't for VBA, she wouldn't be here today. There's another woman I want to talk about. I don't have a slide on her, but Laura, I had a real pleasure of meeting her just after Hurricane Ian. She lost her life partner of almost 30 years last March, and then Ian came along and nearly destroyed her home completely. Yet the first thing she said that she worried about was whether or not VBA was still standing, because her home was just a few blocks from the clinic. The clinic sustained quite a bit of damage, but we were open within 5 days of the hurricane. And she had said if VBA was gone, she didn't know what she was going to do, because she believes that her life, she has not lived as long as she has, and she would not have without VBA. If we go to the next slide, our patients matter. We're all, again, family there. We really enjoy interacting with the people. I've had many of these patients, well, I shouldn't say many. In my interviews, I've had one particular patient tell me that they really appreciated VBA because there's no judgment. You come in, you get taken care of, you're felt like family, you feel like you are worth something. And I think that statement in itself means a lot. Next slide. I want to leave you with this poem. It's not for money, it's not for fame, it's not for personal gain, it's just for love of fellow man, it's just to give a helping hand. It's your reward in your heart, it's a feeling that you've been a part of helping others far and near that makes you want to volunteer. Again, I reach out to all of you and ask if anybody's interested in more information or volunteering to let me know. And I will leave you with one last thing. In early January, Virginia B. Andes was approved by the Charlotte County Commissioners. They will help fund a $750,000 toward a mobile medical unit. So by fourth quarter of this year, we should have a 33-foot coach bus that's being fitted with 2 treatment rooms and will have the ability of driving around the county to serve the people where they need it. Yeah. Thank you. We have 3 areas specifically that we're focused on: Tringali Park, South Park in Punta Gordas, and also by the Homeless Coalition. We're thinking about 1 day a week for specifically at those areas, but then also going out and reaching into other communities as well. It's also going to be used as a disaster recovery transportation or bus during those issues as well. So we're really excited about that. It will help, again, expand what we're able to do to others within the community. With that, I Thank you again. I appreciate your time and your attention.
Barb has also left packets of information in the social hall under the TV on the computer stand. So you have lots of things out there to look at and read. Reverend Erica Hewitt says of the offering, we take this each Sunday. It isn't just a stale habit, it's an opportunity to recommit to this place and to its people. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something we value. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. May our offering help us to practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation as tools to empower our mission. And this morning is a second offering, and the proceeds from the second offering will go to Virginia B. Andes. The offering music is hymn 128. You can stay seated. For all that is our life. Thank you all for your continued support. Now we have Life of the Community. If you would like to be a greeter, serve on the UUFCC Board of Trustees, or become a member, lots of options here, see Stephanie Garrett after the service. Don't forget, the Peace River Pride is Saturday, February 25th. Volunteers are needed. See John Lee, he's in the yellow in the back, if you are interested in that. And now Fred has a message for us.
My name is Fred Parmenter. Oh, listen, before I forget, if there's an auction coming up this Saturday, some of you have gone online and looked at the auction booklet, and you might have seen that some items are listed as having been sold. That's simply because I or one of the other members of the team are doing some testing. So if you look at an item and it looks like, and it says, Jim Boyle won the item, it's just because we were doing testing. Nothing has been sold, and eventually the auction booklet won't list that. Well, I'm so pumped to be here this morning. We talk a lot about the auction, but actually in the past, a number of our members haven't attended auctions. So this year is kind of unusual. We're going to switch the focus of the auction to be just having a party. When you get out of the cars on Saturday and you come up, what you're going to see is a bunch of tables with food on them. There'll be chairs and plates, and this will be a great time where UUs do what they do best. They eat. There'll be a bar in here where they drink, and they can chat. It'll be just absolutely wonderful. And afterwards, we're going to have a little entertainment right here in the hall. Kay and her other the members of the team will have set up some tables. We're going to have a little entertainment. It's going to be a short evening. It's a happy hour banquet. So afterwards you go to dinner. Some of the entertainment, Bill Stanwoods is going to be doing some stand-up comedy. We're going to have a 50-50 raffle, and I'll be running a short auction up here on the screen where we'll auction off some of the items. So the primary emphasis is to get those people who have not attended an auction to be right here and have a good time with our party. So I said to Kay earlier today, look, if free food and drink and desserts and entertainment doesn't get our entire fellowship here, what would? Kay thought for a little bit, and then she said, Fred, tell them there's going to be a committee meeting. So I just hope we see everybody here. It's going to be a great time. It'd be wonderful to have people back, and Joyce and Judy and Linda and Cliff. I hope you as well feel welcome to come and join us. It will try to make you feel right at home. And someone earlier today said to me, well, I can't come. And I said, why? He said, I've got company. This is just a time we're going to gather. You don't have to serve them hors d'oeuvres at home. There's nothing to clean up. If you do it at home, you're going to have a mess to clean up. Come here, have a good time with us, and we'll have a great time. Just come as you are, 4:30 on Saturday. It'll be wonderful to just get all back together, having a good time. No music on the way out.
I always wonder if I should let Fred have the mic. Yes, if you've thought about it, this is the first social get-together we will have had in 3 years. So we're hoping everybody comes out. And yes, there still will be an auction. And yes, we still need things for the auction book. So I'm gonna ask if you would go online, look for things that you can do. They can be silly, they can be fun, they can be any way that you want to get things in and help the community. Thank you for that.
What's the deadline for the book?
Where you use probably Friday. The book is not being printed, so yeah. Our closing words this morning are by Norman V. Naylor. Our eyes and minds turn now toward the ordinary, leaving the space made sacred by our presence. Take with you at least some seed of understanding, hope, courage, and drop it into the confusion of the world. Nourish the seed that might grow as a tree of life, giving shelter to the weary and hope to the despairing. Be yourself a branch of this tree. Amen. And now to extinguish the chalice, and we'll repeat the words, and then Shelley will extinguish the chalice. Join me. We extinguish the chalice, but not the light of hope, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of community. May those ideals shine in our lives and warm our hearts until we go together again. And Barb will stick around after the service.